Welcome back to Cossy Arsenal Podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is the latest Arsenal news and daily reaction. We're going to be talking about Aaron Ramsdale, who has opened up about his lack of game time at the club. And he says, at the moment, I'm hurting. I want to play for England, and there's no way I can do that without playing for Arsenal. So therefore, I want to get back into the team, and I want to be playing more football than not. So we're going to be diving into the debate. Ramsdale after the international break, or David Raya continuing in goal after the international break. We'll be looking at some of the beautiful statistics between these two this campaign. Only this campaign, they've all played 6 games for Arsenal since the Community Shield. Ramsdale has played 6, Raya has played 6, and I tell you what, it doesn't look very good for Aaron Ramsdale. It doesn't look very beautiful for Aaron Ramsdale. Raya is actually beating him in every metric, in every statistic when it comes to being a good goalkeeper, a modern goalkeeper, and a goalkeeper that can be trusted as well as a goalkeeper that Arsenal and Mikel Arteta would love to have in goal. So hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well. This is what happened. Aaron Ramsdale played the first 6 games of the campaign right from the Community Shield, and ever since the first international break, it has been David Raya. So what Mikel has done there has been very, very beautiful. You've given them equal opportunities. So I want your thoughts now. After the second international break, who comes back in goal? Do we go Ramsdale now comes back? Do we go Raya stays in goal because it's been actually better than Ramsdale? Or do we now start interchanging them, right? One for the Champions League, one for the Premier League, one for the Carabao Cup, and one for the FA Cup. I want your thoughts there. I want your opinions because Ramsdale is not happy right now with Arsenal, and I'm not saying he's threatening to leave, but with the January transfer window knocking on the door and the Euros knocking on the door as well, we might see Arsenal in a situation where they have to loan or sell Aaron Ramsdale even as early as January. So let's get into some of the little conversations he's been putting out there when it comes to his future. First and foremost, he was asked about not playing, and he said, look, with David Raya, even though I'm suffering right now and I'm hurting for not playing, I have to stand up and be able to push him and make sure that he's ready for the weekend if he's being picked to play ahead of me at the moment. That is in his interview with The Telegraph. He says, at the moment, I'm suffering, I'm hurting for not playing, but I have to stand up and push David Raya. Even if I'm not playing at the moment, I've got to push him. And I think, listen, that is what Mikel Arteta wants. That is what Mikel, always looks for in signing 2 quality players per position. But with goalkeepers, it is something very different, and we're going to talk about it. I think with goalkeepers, you might need to have one of your goalkeepers ahead of the other. And I think Ramsdale is below Raya at the moment in terms of being liked at the club, especially by Inaki Keina, the goalkeeping coach. And as well as, Mikel Arteta can see it, Arsenal play better and they keep more clean sheets when we play Raya than Aaron Ramsdale. So Ramsdale says he's hurting at the moment and is going through a very, very tough time. He also says that he's concerned about not playing and losing his place in England, because he says, of course, it is for the first time I have found myself in this situation. He means not playing. I want to get back into my team. I want to give the manager a headache rather than just have Pickford as number 1. That is what he told the Daily Mail as well. Look, continuing with some of the few excerpts that I've been looking at, it says we work professionally together with David Raya. Very, very well. Very, very well. We push each other in training, and that is what we can do. There are days where I come in and I'm down because of the situation, because I'm not playing, because I'm the second goalkeeper, and he says, and he picks me up, and I would do the same for him as well. So we support each other. Again, that is another quote from his interview with the Daily Mail. But what is interesting here, guys, is the numbers and the statistics. So you look at the statistics here. The green is where the player is better. The red is where the player is actually not better than the other. And what you're looking at there is you're looking at 6 games per player. You're looking at 540 minutes played, and that is between 2 goalkeepers. There is no single metric on this board. There is no single metric on this board that Ramsdale is better than Raya. Not a single metric. So when you look at it there on your screen, you can easily see. I'll just push it a little bit higher up. So what you're able to see here is the different aspects and the different statistics. Raya has had more passes than Ramsdale in his 6 games, 241 as compared to Ramsdale's 67. Successful passes 192 for David Raya, 111 for Ramsdale. Literally, that means that Raya has completed more passes than the number of passes attempted by Ramsdale. So before you deduct the number of passes completed from Ramsdale's numbers, his passes are lower than the passes made by David Raya. Passing accuracy 79.7 for David Raya, almost 80%. We are looking at 66.5 for Aaron Ramsdale. Long passes 91 long passes, 79 long passes for Aaron Ramsdale. Successful long passes 44 out of 99 out of 91. For Ramsdale, it's only 24 out of 79. Long passing accuracy 48.4 for Raya, and again 30.4 for Aaron Ramsdale. The touches 305, 211. That shows you that the team actually really trusts Raya as compared to trusting Aaron Ramsdale. Possession lost. Raya has only lost possession 50 times and Ramsdale 57 times. Possession lost in terms of percentages. Raya has only lost the ball 16% of the time, and Ramsdale has lost the ball 27% of the time. So when you look at those metrics and when you look at those numbers and you look at the quotes that Ramsdale has put out there, you've got to feel for him and you've got to be really scared and afraid for him. Because for me, if Mikel Arteta is going to go by merit, and if Mikel is going to go the better goalkeeper starts, the better goalkeeper gets into goal, then there is absolutely no way Ramsdale gets back in goal. Ramsdale is below David Raya in every metric. Touches, passes completed, long passes completed, possession lost. This guy has come in and he has taken Arsenal by storm. We have not had such a quality goalkeeper, and we've not had such a strong goalkeeper like David Raya. And I think Ramsdale has got some questions to answer to himself. And one of those questions could be, where do I play after I leave Arsenal? I'm honestly considering that. I think that is one of the questions that are now available for Ramsdale. What is he gonna do? What should happen? So he says that he would love to get back in the team. He wants to play again for Arsenal, and I absolutely agree. When you are competing with Pickford, when you are competing with the likes of Nick Pope, the advantage they have for England and why they are always ahead of him for England, and the likes of Sam Johnston as well, is Sam Johnston is Crystal Palace's number one at the moment until Dean Henderson picks up an injury. Until Dean Henderson pickpockets him. Nick Pope is number one at Newcastle, and Jalen Pickford is number one at Everton. So the situation means that Southgate has more minutes on which to evaluate those three goalkeepers as compared to Aaron Ramsdale. Ramsdale has played 6 games and he has not appeared in 2 months. So there's no way you're gonna be starting ahead of Sam Johnston, and there's no way you're gonna be starting ahead of Pope and Pickford. So there is a point in Aaron Ramsdale's talk. There is a point in his complaints. If I'm not going to be playing for Arsenal, it means simply in a country that has so many English goalkeepers, I'm not going to be playing for England. And I don't want that. I'm young. I'm ready to go. If I cannot play for England, courtesy of not playing for Arsenal, then I should be leaving Arsenal. But what is the solution? What is the answer? And I'm going to give you my perspective because I want your perspective in the comment box below. This is my perspective. Arsenal have to go back to the market and find a goalkeeper who is happy to sit on the bench and find a goalkeeper who is happy to share a few minutes with David Raya. That is what's going to happen, and that is what should happen. It's as simple as that. I do not think, he doesn't have to be a bad goalkeeper. It doesn't have to be a low quality goalkeeper. We have seen Kepa Arrizabalaga being at Chelsea for quite some time, even when there was Mendy, right? Until the point where Mendy left and Kepa left as well. But with Raya and Ramsdale, it's very different. This is a very different scenario. David Raya is 28 at the moment and is massively, like clinically, critically better than Ramsdale. So if you want to win the league, if you want to win the Champions League, if you want to win silverware, you know the goalkeeper you've got to play. It's David Raya. So after this international break, regardless of how Ramsdale is feeling, I still think Raya will be in goal, and I still think Raya will be rightly in goal. He's been better and he has performed at a much better, consistent basis than Ramsdale. And still with David Raya, I think Mikel Arteta as a manager who is very, very exploratory can do a couple of things. One thing we saw against Man City was Mikel Arteta encouraging David Raya to step on the ball, to get his studs on the ball and attract pressure. When he did that, it allowed a couple of spaces to open up in a couple of zones on the pitch, and Arsenal could exploit those spaces. That is something Ramsdale doesn't do. That is something we get from David Raya. So with David Raya, you have a complete modern goalkeeper, good at shot stopping, very good at distribution. He's kind of a leader. The defense is more organized, and he's not emotional. I think with Aaron Ramsdale, he's a very emotional guy. He's a very emotional goalkeeper. And you can trust him, but you might not trust him with your title challenging season. You might not trust him with your UEFA Champions League run. And that is where, for me, Ramsdale has got to drop. And Ramsdale, in my opinion, does not get back into this Arsenal goal. I don't think he gets back. So the solution for me is for Arsenal to get a goalkeeper in January or in the summer. If we can keep Ramsdale until the summer, we will have done well. If we cannot keep him until the summer, I don't think there's a problem. I still think eventually Ram will leave Arsenal. Ram is going to go. Ram is going to go to another club. I won't be surprised, actually, to see him at Newcastle. I won't be surprised to see him at Chelsea. I won't be surprised even to see him at a club like Tottenham Hotspur. Probably wouldn't go for Tottenham Hotspur. That would mean a lot of hatred. I don't think it has gone as far as that. But you get the point. You get what I'm talking about. So what I'm saying here, guys, is for me, come the summer, Arsenal have got to go and scout a 21, 22-year-old quality young prospect in goal and let Ramsdale go. Because when we sign Raya on a permanent, that's the end game, right? Raya is getting better with age. Ramsdale is getting better with age as well. And their ambitions as well, right now, are still very sharp. Ramsdale is looking at the Euros 2024, but then he's also looking at the World Cup that will be coming up. The last one was in 2022, sorry. So the next World Cup could be in 2026. So we'll be looking at the World Cup 2026. He'll be looking at the Euros 2028, and then he will be looking at the World Cup 2030. That's it. So if you cannot guarantee him game time, if you cannot promise him that he will be playing, it doesn't make any sense. For us to keep him around. But I really feel for Aaron Ramsdale. I really do. I think he's a loyal member of this Arsenal team. He's a loyal member of this Arsenal squad. And I think he was not informed well when he was signing a new deal. Because no sooner had he signed a new deal than Arsenal brought in a new goalkeeper. And that actually shows you that Arsenal were afraid of losing him. Arsenal were afraid of bringing in a new goalkeeper before tying Ramsdale to a longer-term contract. Now that they did that, they could bring in a new goalkeeper, and if Ram decided to go, they can actually get good money, which was actually a very, very good strategy. So in my opinion, guys, not surprised with whatever is happening. I don't think you can actually keep two goalkeepers very happy. These are two young, quality goalkeepers that are going to become world-class. I think with Raya, 2 seasons at Arsenal, he will be 29. He will be world class. He will be a world class shot stopper. With Ramsdale, three good seasons at the top level, you will actually count him as one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League. If you're actually going to do that, if you're going to have that talent in the same team, you have to give them exactly half of the games of the other. And I still think that wouldn't actually make them happy. And this is where Mikel Arteta gets it wrong. He thinks that because Raya can play half of the games and Ramsdale can play half of the games, both of them will be happy. Absolutely not. What? Look, Ram is going to look at himself playing 15, 19 games in a campaign, and he says, but Pickford is playing 38. So I want to go somewhere where I can play 38. You can never keep them happy. You can never keep them satisfied. And eventually, one of them is going to ask to leave. At the moment, it looks like Ram has called the bell first. If Arsenal do not respond, the door is going to open up, and I'm really sure the portal will actually swallow up our Ramsdale. But I want your thoughts there in the comment box below. What do we do after this international break, and what do we do with Ram?